Hey, it's Cyn. I know it's been a while since I have posted. I have a good reason for it. I lost my voice. I got sick last month, I think. Oh my god, I lost track of the date. July 12th. I got sick on Father's Day, and then basically for 3 weeks I lost my voice. I think you can see the reflection here. This is my humidifier. I've been using it for the past week and a half, and it's been really making a difference on my voice coming back. So I apologize for the silence. I hope you've all been well. For those of you who are new here, my name is Cyn. It is a pleasure to meet you. I'm a fashion designer and mystic. I'm here to actually empower you and help you find the truth of who you are, as well as give you some styling insight that will be coming very soon. But yeah, let's get with today's reading, shall we? I've been thinking an awful lot about how much our world suffers from a lack-based mindset and a fear-based mindset. And I thought, why don't I just use my third eye and do a reading for you guys today on helping you figure out how to find your success. I think that'd be good, yeah? Because if you guys are successful and more people are happier, there'll be more happier people in the world, and less wars and fighting and repression, and a whole bunch of negativity will exist because more people are content and fulfilled and living out their dreams, right? So let's do that. I'm going to have you guys pick between 3 boxes. So the first pile would be the Manara Sex Tarot deck. There's a total of 3 piles, okay? Pile 2 is Getting into the Vortex by Esther and Jerry Hicks. Third pile is Conscious Spirit Oracle deck. Okay? So take your time to select the pile, and I'll see you in your reading. Pile number 1, here's your reading. Okay, so how will you find success? We have Fornax Incubation Pregnancy, Cassiopeia, Consequences of Arrogance, Vanity, and Pride. So Queen of Fire. So 2 of Fire, Queen of Fire. We have Dark Matter, Unseen Forces at Work, Karma. Columbia. This is Page of Water, Message of Peace and Hope. Page of Earth, Canis Minor, Underdog, Overlooked Talent, Unglorified Action. And then we have the Sun card, 12, Rebirth, Illumination, and Visualization. And then finally, from the first pile from the Manara Sex Tarot deck, I've pulled 6 of Water, and 6 of Air. So there's a lot of, okay, I'm hearing grounding communication, because water is emotion, flow, but it's also like, it's made contact with the earth, right? It's touching earth, it's touching soil. And so in air is about communication. And so if communication of air mixed in with water, we'll get, you know, aerated water. But that would be the message would have made contact with the emotions. So the answer for pile number 1, how you can gain success or be successful in your endeavors, is by connecting emotions with your communication, right? Communication, air, emotions, water. I'm literally hearing the title of Buffy's music video, or not music video, Buffy's musical called Once More with Feeling. So you need to add feeling into your words. You need to put emotions into your messages. Okay, I'm gonna look at these cards and channel and see what they have to say before I continue telling you what it is that you need to do to get success. There's a lot of rigidity I'm hearing right now in my ear that you need to release in order to, the fear of looking unprofessional. So you want to be like, oh, like a we'll call it a we business, or come across as a large enterprise, and it's very cold, whereas people are looking to be able to connect with you and know that there's a human being behind that screen. So you need to become more personal, putting emotions into your words and your communication and into the content you create, or even the way you speak. It has to be humanized, otherwise people will have a huge disconnect from it because they're thinking you're like some sort of auto-generated robot blogger, I don't know, captioner. Or if you use like AIs to like speak out your words, there needs to be a sense of humor to it, because otherwise this is gonna sound like you don't know who's behind that screen. It's gonna feel like a scammer. It's like a really cold, faceless business that comes across like a scammer. Does that make sense? And I'm hearing that's why they want you to know. That's why even large corporations that don't have faces, they actually have celebrities represent them. The celebrities are what warms up their brand, is what adds personality and connection, because the celebrities already have a following, and influencers already have a following, that their viewers and their audience already loves them. There's already a loyal following and a loyal dedication because they have bonded a relationship. And these large faceless corporations are connecting with people who already have a warmer connection to like generate sales. And if you're not at that position, then pile one, the advice for you is to honestly go and connect more with your audience, either yourself as an individual representing the brand, and or finding similar people and faces, influencers or creators who might share the same sort of line of work or mission, who would want to collaborate with you and represent the brand and also add more emotion and warmth to your company. Okay, so pile one, you have something that I think is very common for a lot of people who are running small businesses. This is for those who are running small business and they're entrepreneurs. You have a very potentially successful business here with you, but because you're like in the middle of the incubation period and it's about to grow, your own selfishness and coveting your own plans and like your progress is literally gonna drown yourself, and you're gonna drown the birth of your creation. You're like your creation baby, not your literal baby, but like, you know what I mean? This is like birth, pregnancy. And then after you give it, you conceive give birth to your artwork, give birth to your concept. If you're not holding it above water constantly, because there's a lot of snakes around you. I understand the frustration of people always trying to steal your work or steal your idea. So in fear of that, you covet your work by hiding underwater so you can't be found by these snakes. But if you allow these snakes to succumb to you feeling like, oh my god, more people are going to steal my ideas than it is for me to reach out to the people that will love me and will support my idea and like support my baby, rather than have these snakes hurt my baby, and you're always underwater, you're gonna end up drowning your own creative baby. Instead of, it's like, I'm hearing the quote of like, a boat will float, but like if you allow the insecurities and the downfalls and like the jealousies of other people to pierce into your ship or your boat, that's when you'll start to sink, because now it's the insecurities entering into you. It's like getting under your skin, so to speak. So the advice here is, do your best to not get lost in the sauce of other people's jealousy and their gossips, and their people are trying to take your idea. They're like, oh, look at what they're doing, okay, I'm gonna try to get one step above theirs, and like I have a bigger platform, yada yada, and like I'm gonna take it and run with it. But the thing is, they can never be you. That is what Spirit really wants you to understand, is like, They can take your idea, but they can never do it the way you do. And the people who originally find you, they will know it's you. They even want to say for you, show your progress, show your concept from beginning of scratch, like beginning to end. You know how like someone creates a blueprint of like the mood board, what was the inspiration, and like how they came with the concept of this, and then the rough draft of the idea, and how it like finalized and became more of like so and so forth, and then how it evolved into the finalized idea it is now. You should show that. It will not have people steal your ideas more. If anything, it will show this originality, the core pioneer roots of the stem of your idea, your concept. And the people who find you, who are looking for an artist like you, or a creator like you, or a person who's selling the services that you do, they can see you really love what you do, and they can see they have a deeper connection with you because you're allowing them to enter into your world of understanding their journey of what you're doing and your line of thinking, and it will make them feel a lot more closer to you, and they'll feel much more connected to you. Yeah, so it's like it's like that whole putting emotions into your words, because you're speaking from the heart, you're speaking from passion and desire, and it will allow for these people who are actually potential fans and clients to fall in love with your work in a much deeper level than someone who's gonna see your idea and try to copy it. You think people who are gonna copy your idea are gonna really take the time to fabricate oh, these are my original concept and these are my drafts and this? Do you really think they're gonna do that for every project? Like, you can tell. People can tell when something is not authentic or genuine. People can tell if it's coming from a true source. And if anything, when you show your line of thinking and your work in that way, people get to fall in love much with your work in a deeper sense, and at the same time it proves your originality and your authenticity of your work. It's like it speaks for itself, and it defends for itself, and it protects for itself. And this is also a major benefit, because right now you feel like you are overlooked talent and an underdog. And if you don't feel that way, but you feel like life has been unfair and you've been putting a lot of effort, but yet somehow your work has not been recognized, that huge bang outside from the wind blowing, it's like I'm hearing like winds, right? Wind and water. Yeah, it's air and water. The air is like smashing it in, like communication is flooding in now, and it's going to become such a force that it will affect the water, and it will create storms. Yeah, if you start to express yourself and communicate yourself, and don't hold back your words and your passion and your desires, and preventing yourself from speaking to other people in fear of other people stealing your concept, you will create a storm. And snakes can't swim properly when there's storms everywhere. You say, right? Because you're emerging out of the water, and you're like, I'm gonna talk, I'm gonna speak a lot of air into this water, and it's gonna create a storm, and all the snakes are gonna be like, oh shit, man, this is not calm waters, man. I don't think it's worth to get this creative, baby, man. Maybe we should just go swim back down into deeper levels of the water, deeper into the earth. So the more you speak, the more you'll be a mover and a shaker, and the more you will create a new platform for yourself, because you'll be creating new waves. Oh my god, Spirit is coming in with the puns. Yeah, and that's why it ends with the beautiful sun card, because you need to shine. Here's a quote that I heard from a pick-a-card reading. I don't know what deck it was from, but the quote goes, it's called Art of Life. That's the title of the poem on the card. And it says, I'm looking at my mood board, that's why I'm sharing this with you. There's no sacred light in the aura of the invisible life. Be bold in your skin. Let your love dance in sight. Okay? Wow, that's so beautiful. I'm gonna cry. You deserve to be seen, pal one, okay? Don't be afraid of the haters and like people doing some dark shit behind in the shadows and gossiping about you and stealing your ideas. Don't let them suffocate your own creative child, okay? Use your talents, your overlooked talents. I didn't expect to be crying. Your ability to speak. Give it emotion. Share it. The more you speak, the more you speak into your emotions, the more waves you will create, and people will wake up and they will turn to you and they'll realize, oh my god, like, you're speaking to my soul. You're answering a problem I've been facing for so long and nobody understood it, and now you're speaking about it extensively in full detail. You get me. No one else would get me because you just said everything. You hit all my pain points and you said everything I needed someone to say to me for me to know that you understand what I'm saying. Not just half of what I'm going through. You understand full extent of what I'm going through, and I would rather pay you and service your business and be a patron to your cause than anyone else's. You just earn a true fan, right? That one? So that's how you can gain success. Now, if you feel called to come with me onto Pal 2 or Pal 3, I'll see you over there. Thank you so much for your time. If you liked this video, it spoke to you, please give a like, leave a comment, subscribe, hit notification bell, and I'll see you later. I love you so much, and I'll talk to you soon. Hey Pal 2, let's get onto your reading. Pal 2. Your cards were, oh no, it's breaking. Okay, your card is Orion, skill, arrogance, vanity, Knight of Air. Five of Earth, Triangulum and Norma, Triangulum, Austral, new projects, craftsmanship, hard work. The Tower, a twist of fate at the mercy of a greater power. Supernova, outburst, explosion, surprise. King of Fire, Ophiuchus and serpents. The relationship between knowledge and ethics. Okay, I'm immediately getting a message, Pal 2. You guys have done both good and bad things for the name of success. And I'm not judging anything here at all. I totally empathize and understand how that feels when you're in such a position where you are willing to do anything for your baby, to the point of even compromising your own morals just to have it long standing or survive. But this is something your guides want you to think about moving forward, okay? We also have the last card I pulled from the Getting Into the Vortex is making peace with my today will improve my future. So there might need to be some sort of laying down your, I'm hearing laying down your debts. Maybe it's like your guilt, your emotional debts. Or maybe paying off your debts first if it's manageable. But whatever it is, you need to lay it down. You have to put it to rest. And you can't hold on to this anymore moving forward. There's a sense of guilt. The dog barked as soon as I said that. There's a sense of guilt or a grudge you're holding on to. Or maybe you're holding on to someone else's grudge towards you. Like there's a guilt. I'm hearing like, you know that story, that something of the Telltale Heart by Edgar Allan Poe. Edward, oh my god. Edgar Allan Poe, Telltale Heart story. It's like your conscience is haunted so much that you aren't able to move forward properly with your career and finding success, Pal 2. So let me take a moment to, I'm going to read what this says. It may sound odd, but the fastest way to get to a new and improved situation is to make peace with your current situation. By making lists of the most positive aspects you can find about your current situation, you then release your resistance to the improvements that are waiting for you. So sometimes you could get tunnel vision, get really hung up on a problem or a seemingly problematic situation that you don't see a way out. And as I'm reading this, have you ever had a situation where you're like holding onto a remote or you're holding your phone and you start frantically looking all over your living room for your remote or your phone, only to realize like your friend or your like lover or spouse is like, honey, or hey friend, like it's in your hand. And you're like, oh my god, like you were so used to holding it that you didn't even realize you had it the whole time. It's like that, except the remote and the phone is symbolical to like the solution you're trying to find, but you're so hung up on your circumstances of where you think you should be or where you should be placing certain things or your attention to, that you don't realize that you have the answer within yourself all this time. Yeah, so by making lists of the most positive aspects you can find about your current situation, you then release your resistance to the improvements that are waiting for you. But if you rail against the injustices of your current situation, you hold yourself in vibrational alignment with what you do not want, and you cannot then move into the direction of improvement. It defies law. Yeah, so holding a grudge of something. Maybe someone did you wrong in the past, or you felt like they manipulated you or took advantage of you, and you're like, still, whatever it is for pile 2, you're so hung up on it, it's actually blocking you from your path to success. Pile 2 success, path to success, please. Okay, so I'm hearing the word collaboration. So maybe a few years ago, I'm hearing years, maybe, yeah, okay, I'm not gonna say months, I'm literally hearing years, I'm gonna stick with years. So pile 2, maybe a few years ago, you did some collaboration on a supposed project that had a lot, like, was very promising, but it ended up like surprising you in the worst possible way. Like, this is outburst and explosion of surprise, but instead of like a good surprise, it was like the twist of a fate, the mercy of a greater power. So it was like a surprise that you couldn't really control, and it wasn't really beneficial for you nor the parties involved, right? So maybe somebody ran away with the money, or they didn't credit you where credit was due, or they took another creative direction and changed their idea last minute and went behind somebody else. Like, very specific, but like, basically there was no teamwork. It left you feeling really bitter, and it made it so it's preventing you from reaching out to people and networking for the benefit of your creative baby and your success, because you've had such bitter experiences that you feel like, fuck this, like if I ever do this again in the future, people are gonna screw me over, and they're just gonna like take my stuff and then not even credit me at all, and all this and that. No, that's not true. It was just these people. I think I'm hearing a suggestion is for you to practice more discernment moving forward, what sort of red flags you should look out for, or maybe there's some agreements and stipulations of things you should, when you're signing, you should look at the fine print, or when you're agreeing to a project, you should see if everyone is aligned. What is the what is the concept, and is everyone on board with that concept? And maybe there might even be a call for some leeway of flexibility, because when it's a collaboration, it's a collab for a reason. Everyone is sharing a little piece of their ability and their skill and their visions, right? So if you have a very specific vision of how you want things to be, and you don't get your way, then sometimes that can be what, like Jenga, topples everything over, because that won't be a compromise anymore. Because collaboration is not necessarily, it shouldn't be seen as a compromise. That's like from a shadow standpoint. Collaborations are more like a chance for everyone to combine their powers and abilities, like Power Rangers and like Mighty Morphin Time, and like turn into like each share their own limb and their abilities to create this super omega robot, right? And every robot you form and every mega morphin you do with other people is always going to be different. So it's making me think of Steven Universe too. Everyone's a different crystal gem, and when you fuse, you have a different ability, right? You should see it more optimistic in that way. And also when it comes to agreements, there need to be publicly written agreements amongst like a group chat, or like amongst all parties involved. Even if it's not group chat, it's like group email, whatever it is, there should be like stipulations of these are the guidelines we're agreeing to, and this is what we're finalized with, and these are a list of people who are going to be credited, and this is what we're going to work with, and like this is where we have leeway for. That is like a promising sign of the group you're working with will have a good harmonization, and there is a good balance between leadership and following. And there's nothing wrong with having a good following, because in order to be a good leader, you need to also be able to lead people properly to begin with. And if people aren't willing to follow you, maybe you're not really a good leader, right? I'm not saying this about you, pal, too. I'm just saying that about the individuals that were involved. Maybe they weren't good leaders. But hey, if I'm saying it and you felt like I was speaking to you, that could be a possibility. Maybe you need to revise your leadership skills. If you're not able to influence or inspire people to entertain a concept that is in your mind's eye and you think is a good idea, then perhaps you need to think about how you can articulate or convey your pitch your idea in a better way. Maybe you need more visual samples, like create a sketch so people can visualize and see what you see. If it's not visual, if it's like music, maybe make some samples and show them in person, or like demonstrate it to them, because people are not gonna, not everyone thinks and processes things the same way you do, right? And the better you can communicate, the higher chances and more chances our collaborations will end up becoming very successful. Yeah. Wow, that was very good. I like that. Any other messages? Yeah, so because of that, you need to forgive the parties involved in the past. Chances are they've moved on. If they haven't learned their lessons and they're just repeating their own bullshit, you don't have to worry about that, because they're going to be reaping their own karma their way, okay? And what is their karma? That's not really going to be in this reading. That's going to be in another reading. But the point is, you do you, boo-boo. You just, now that you know this is the case, moving forward, forgive, but don't forget, put that to rest, and have a new strategy and mindset moving forward, and how you can collaborate and connect with other individuals so you can expand your success and spread word of your business. Okay, pal number 2? I certainly hope you like that. If you enjoy my vibe, be sure to subscribe, hit the notification bell, give a thumbs up please, and leave a comment if it gave you any insight. I would love to hear what you think. If you have felt called to go to Pal 3 with me, you're more than welcome to, and I'll see you over there. Bye. Alright, Pal number 3, this is your reading. The oracle card that flew up from Conscious Spirit deck is number 12, reach out. I reach out my hand and my heart to connect to and unite all of humanity. So far, all of these readings are connecting together. So if you feel called to 1 and 2, by all means, listen to them. Okay, so we have Ace of Air, Microscopium, detection, detail, scrutiny. Three, Earth, home, healing, protection. Justice, air. Aquarius, social justice, radical effort, rebellion. I don't know why I'm getting strong vibes for some of you guys. You guys are like real estate agents or something, pile number 3. Or you wanted to like create some sort of shelter in like a third world country. Something like that. Something about living space and community. The Lovers, water. Cancer, family matters, affection, loved ones, connection. But if it isn't the case, then keep hanging on and we'll see if I end up channeling other messages too. I'm sure I will. 16, satellite, support, attraction, companion. Okay. What is going to drive you forward, Pal 3, to success is you should work with a partnership, okay? Of course, work out all the legalities, hire a lawyer, look at the fine print, figure out the agreements, how much, who gets what, how much of the cut. But partnership would be important for you to be able to achieve the vision you want, because there's a lot of like pairings in this video, like, or in this deck, this pile. Look at this. Couple, the bird and the guy. What's this? Air and water, just like pile 3. Communication and emotions. Look at this. And a girl and her crab. And then the last one is like, well, there's 3 wolves, but partnership. Right? And then we have reach out. So there's a clear emphasis here with if you're someone who is a visionary and you have like a lot of great ideas that you think would be really beautiful to implement into our world, call number 3. But like you're not, example, you're not really so good with logistics, then you should partner up with someone who's good at crunching numbers or looking into fine prints of stuff like that. Maybe not fine prints, you need to still hire a lawyer for that, but someone who's like better at math or like doing the more technical things, right? The yin yang to match. And someone, maybe you're good at understanding people but you're not so great with marketing, then you can hire a partner who's good at like PR, public representation, and public representative, and like they can help you understand deeper on how you can understand your audience even more in a more technical standpoint, so you can utilize that information to expand and grow the way you need to. Because pile 3, I don't feel like you're the type of business you want. I don't feel like it's like a small, I'm not saying small is bad, I meant like it's not like a independent solo journey. Unlike 1 and 2, yours is more like you want to do something like be a land owner, or like a landlord owner, or owner of properties, or you want to build buildings in like less fortunate countries and like have cheaper rent for people or something like that, right? So I'm gonna take a moment now, I'm gonna channel and see what these cards say to you. I'm hearing you should get like something like Patreon or a Kickstarter and rally up like signatures of people who believe in the same cause as you. So there could also even be like volunteers that can come in and help with your cause. So you don't need to do a lot of it with your own pocket money, so to speak. So let's just say you want to go to like a third world country to build schools. You can find people who have the money, who shares the same passion and vision as you, that they're able to pocket. They can even fund you, as well as they could pay for their own expenses to go to said country, and you guys can all utilize the things you guys built together and like literally crowd fund and build the said schools and spread the word that way. There, of course, because of that, that's why you're avoiding reaching out, because you're gonna be like, oh, you're gonna be under scrutiny. People are like, well, how much is gonna go here and how much is gonna go there? Well, that's why you should reach out, so you can talk to several people like, hey, you guys are interested? How many of you guys are actually like contractors? How many of you guys actually have built houses before? How many of you guys know about plumbing and electric engineer? How many of you guys know about like land space and how that works? And how many of you guys know how third world countries, like their rules and legalities are when it comes to building stuff like that? Or even reaching out to message people who have built stuff like that in the past and being like, hey, like, is there a way we can partner up with you to like make this a bigger thing, like a bigger journey? Like maybe they would love that, because now you're going to partner up together to the same cause, and they're going to be able to share your resources with like, okay, we know that this country here you can or cannot do this thing here, and the legality of this, you know, whatever area, and the how it's run, and like maybe there's safety precautions because of the environment is completely different from where you live, and you're not, you know, all those factors you won't know unless you're like, hey, what do you guys think? And then a group of people are like, yeah, we build houses. Actually, I know how to build houses that are like affordable, but actually can have insulation and this and that, and meet the needs of this country that we're trying to build the school at, so on and so forth. And suddenly all of those concerns of how much money that you need, which we assume we need a lot of money to resolve, is suddenly dwindled down to, oh, this is very realistic. Yeah, I can help with that, right? So that's how you can overcome that. I'm even hearing like, if you can find sponsorships too. Oh, this is really cool. Yeah, like reach out to sponsorships and companies who, like, I'm hearing like roofing and housing and like plumbing companies, and be like, hey, we're doing this cause, would you be willing to like lend us like some of your materials, and we'll like give you like free advertisement and say that you helped with the crowdfunding and like providing us resources, free resources to build schools in like third world countries, and we can make sure to credit you and said you guys are like blah 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 by, I don't know, so and so. I'm hearing like, I don't know, like baby products and stuff shelving by Johnson & Johnson, and like thanks to so and so blah 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 company, we were able to like have good plumbing. And so like plumbing that would be very efficient and meet your demands, and like even in the third world country you can still function. Imagine what I could do in your home, like, you know what I'm saying? And people will be like, yeah, of course, like they'll give you like different things you need to build. And suddenly this whole like hurdle of like money and problems and issues is going to be like very minor. All you have to do, you have to start by reaching out, start the conversation, gather people's information, and look into statistics. I hear, look into demographics, look into collecting emails and names, and gathering all the information you need to make this possible, Pal 3, especially when it comes to helping humanity to be in a better place. That's amazing. Don't, I hear like very strongly to tell you, don't be afraid that your vision is stupid, or that everything's been done and said and they don't need another voice like you. Like, no, that's not true at all. Like, the world is in such a dire state right now, like it needs more of you than ever. And you're gonna be so surprised how many people are waiting for someone like you to add to their, join forces with them, and they might even like give you a role to pass it on, or even be more than happy to give you a shout out and be like, check out this company or this non-profit or not-for-profit company, so on and so forth, that is building schools or doing supplies and shelters for so on and so forth. Like, they want you to be in here, and people and communities that believe in this cause are gonna flood in funding for you for that, Pal 3. I hope you enjoyed that reading. Give it a like and a thumbs up, and leave a comment below if it resonated with you. And if you like my vibe, be sure to subscribe. And I will see you in the next video, okay?